Welcome back to Allowed to Ask, a First Rounds on Media production. If you're tired of the dating app routine, I've got one that's changing the game. First Rounds on Me is designed to eliminate the things you probably hate about dating apps, like endless small talk. With their unique 24-hour chat feature, you can only message your date, which is already set, starting 24 hours before a meeting. This keeps the getting to know you phase where it belongs, in person. Download from today and use code A2A, capital A, number 2A, for a free month of their subscription. We're so excited to be sitting down today with the fabulous Sydney Meister, who's a lifestyle editor at PureWow. Lifestyle editor? Dating?
Lifestyle, dating, you know.
I feel like lifestyle was the way to phrase you because I was looking at your muck rack?
Yeah.
Okay, so I used to be in PR and I used to like literally live on muck rack and I was looking at your page. Yeah. Muck rack is like
the portfolio
for journalists. Anyway, thank you so much for being here.
I'm excited.
We're literally already yapping for like 20 minutes before this and decided to start filming it now. Tell us a little bit, not to make an interview, but like about yourself and how you got into the journalism space. I'm very envious because I used to be the worst writer ever.
Right.
Yeah. I did not, like I always wrote. I was always a good writer. Like in college, it was a side hustle and I would charge people for essays. But like,
you needed my number.
I literally needed your number.
Yeah, like I really, that's what I would do. But I wanted to be a talent agent. Like I interned at WME. And
my best friend just left there, but worked there for like 7 years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But I graduated COVID 2020. Like I didn't have a graduation. So
there was
I'm
no mailroom anymore at WME.
I didn't even get the chance to apply to the mailroom.
Right.
So I was just kind of sitting there twiddling my thumbs. I was like, do I even want to do this? Like, do I want to rep other I was like, I kind of want to be the person to be repped. So I switched over and I started by writing about interior design. My mom's a designer. Oh. And then I was like, can I write about dating? And they were like, sure. And
who's they? Like
my editors at PureWow.
So you were writing about interior design at PureWow.
I still do.
Yeah.
It's like a half and half thing, which is hence the lifestyle.
Right. You really do it all.
That's good.
Yeah. It's a good mix.
I love home furnishings, but that's a whole nother story.
That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah. We could talk. Yeah.
Do you think that like your dating articles and relationship articles like do the best in a way, or is it just depending on the audience who's reading it?
It depends. Like it depends. They like the theories. Like any kind of TikTok theory does really well.
We were just talking about those in the cab right here.
The TikTok theories do really well, but then any kind of kitchen trend does. It's like very dependent on what's trending.
Kitchen trend? Share with my mother.
No, there are trends.
What's a kitchen trend?
Well, I don't know if there's like trend. I don't know what the trends are, but sometimes the cabinets go to the top now.
Oh, no. There's like coastal Scandifornia is what I just wrote. They are getting out of hand. You have no idea. Like,
how do you find... Like, how do you do your research? Just like literally scrolling on TikTok and
a lot of scrolling. I do like Reddit is good for dating.
Reddit scares the shit out of me.
Reddit should scare the shit out of you. It is a dark hole. Like it's actually you spend too much time on there, you lose sight of reality. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to write about? Would you say?
It depends on the phase of life. I love writing about dating because it's just all of the conversations that my friends and I are having. And like, I was out for dinner with my friends last night and I was like, we were talking about the ick. Yeah. And I'm like, hold on, I need to write this down. Like,
we were going to ask you if, I don't want to steal your question because I know you had it, but like, do you use your friends and yourself as kind of content?
100%. I mean, I myself don't write about anyone that I'm seeing currently because that would fuck up my life. Yeah. But like I'll change the names of past people and, you know, my friends I'll change the names of. It's like, all with being courteous to them. I don't want to like put
people
their
will be
lives.
scared like you're on a date and then you're going to write something ick about them.
Well, that's what they always say. Every time I go on a date with someone, they're like, so are you going to write about me? And I'm like, are you going to do something interesting?
We hear that a lot with like we have like dating influencers on too, where it's like we haven't had like a writer on yet, but it's interesting to hear it because you guys probably hear the same thing. I used to hear it too. It's like if I have a dating podcast and I would go on dates and they'd be like, oh my God, don't speak about me. You're going to talk about me. It's like very, you probably have the same conversation on every date.
I have the same, but the thing also is like with the writing, it's rooted in something bigger where it's like you're not just shooting the shit and like talking shit. Like you're writing about something in mind. So it makes it easier to separate reality from what I'm covering.
Right. You're not just like taking the date and then using that as content.
In the intro a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
In the intro
I was reading a few of your most recent pieces that you sent over, and they were so great. And I love how you always start like with a little like tidbit that's you like set the scene, which I really, really like.
Yeah, you have to set the scene. You got to put the people in the mindset of being on a date to get the trend. Yeah.
You talk a lot about trends. Do you think you partake in those or more just educate people on them?
I think like I like to do the trends that, or if it's like a stupid TikTok trend, I try and bring it back to something psychology, sociology, like why we're doing this. Because the trend is speaking about, you know, our generation and the way that we're interacting right now.
Yeah.
So I feel like I forgot your question.
Like, do you partake in the trends?
I feel like we all
all the time. I just keep talking and I'm like, wait, what's...
forgot what I was saying.
Drive it home.
Yeah, I feel like we all do to some extent when we're dating. Like it's talking the way that we're going about dating, the way that we're thinking about dating, who we want, how we're thinking about ourselves is like very encompassing of our phase of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who starts these trends?
That's an amazing question. I have no idea.
Could you just start a trend?
Yes.
Like something silly and funny? And...
Yeah, like someone started the red nail theory.
Well, it depends. Like today, I'm writing about rubber band theory, which comes
Everything's
from...
like a rant. Like,
does it mean like shoot the guy across the room and walk away?
No.
Like, bye.
I mean,
what's the rubber band theory?
Okay, like that one comes from men are from Mars, women are from Venus. That's
right.
So that's a theory from a book where it basically says that...
You know this?
It's from my time, yeah.
Yeah,
okay, Grandma.
and it says that men are like rubber bands where they need a certain amount of space and that creates a tension in the relationship, but you need that to bounce back. And if you chase them and you go towards it, you don't allow that tension to build.
Oh, why have I seen this?
Yeah, it's trending.
Yeah.
You like space.
Yeah, I do like
You're
space.
like the dude.
No, I'm definitely
trend.
not
Me too.
like a full-blown
Me too.
dude. Like, I mean, my boyfriend would disagree and think I would like literally want to be attached to him at every second. And I do. But I also really enjoy alone time. And I think that's very important that people don't really always grasp onto in relationships.
100%.
I agree.
I think it's also hard to find that line where it's like, how do you find that personal space without offending your partner?
I think for women, it's a lot harder, right?
Yeah.
Like men are conditioned, you work, you have your life, then you come home. It's very Don Draper. Like I think when you're a woman, it's like you're waiting at home for the man. And that's, again, like these are things that are rooted in us. And we're not so comfortable. Like women aren't so predisposed to take that alone time and like do what they want to do and have their own interests and hobbies. And it will set you free in your dating life.
And it's so important.
Yeah.
Like
It is
to have your
so-
own sense of self and not be dependent on anyone.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. You want to be with someone. You don't want
Want to become them.
need them.
Yeah.
Like you want to want someone. You don't want to need someone.
Right.
So true.
That's like the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you single? What's your
I was
dating?
just going to ask that.
I am single right now. Yes.
Do you want to talk about your dating life or no?
No, I can't. I gotta, I'll get put on blast for that right now. But yeah, single for now. We'll leave
Single
it
for
with
now.
that.
We absolutely love that.
Yeah.
I loved your article on the bored uncle theory. Can you explain that? Because I mean, I feel like I've heard a lot of these theories, except for the rubber band one, clearly. I'm not like as in the know as I thought I was.
Yeah.
But what's the bored uncle theory?
Okay.
And like, why is that so relevant?
Bored uncle is basically, it kind of goes back to rubber band, where it's this idea of if you're spiraling and you have like a pit in your stomach about a guy, you haven't heard from him, he's not giving you what you want, the commitment, whatever it is.
Do you think this is only towards women?
I think
Yes.
anything that I write about could apply to men, but a lot of what I'm covering is the conversations I have with women more so. Because
that makes
men,
sense.
if they're not getting what they want from women, they seem to just detach and move on, which is the core of bored uncle, where it's like, if they're not giving you what you want, instead of going into a mental whole, you treat him like your annoying, boring uncle at Thanksgiving.
Right. So you kind of disconnect a little bit.
You literally start viewing him like your behavior is boring the fuck out of me. Like you're like, what are you doing?
Right.
And you
So
detach
good.
from it.
When I read that, I was like, I wish I like read this years ago.
Yeah. I wish I wrote about I hate that I write about it because it's like
you're probably writing about it and you're like, I'm so fucking stupid.
I'm so dumb.
Right.
There's so many times where
It's
I write.
also like the concept is so simple what you're saying. It's like
and it makes sense.
Yeah, right. Like no, I know. Like you're probably like thinking about like things from my past too. Like one of the like lines in your article was like you get so excited because he sends you a Snapchat. Like, oh my God, that's so fucking lame. Like, you shouldn't be excited by a Snapchat. You shouldn't be excited that he Snapchatted you or texted you after 3 weeks of not reaching out.
Right.
But like, you get that like excitement in you.
It's also this like the chase.
No.
Like as much as men love the chase, women do too. It's like a high that you feel. And then the less you hear from them, it creates this like dopamine rush. When you finally get it, it's like a drug.
But I think the chase is so different for men and women.
Yeah.
Like I think the chase for men is like they want the woman to not be active and like engaging with them. And the chase for women is kind of, they want them to be more
I think
active.
the chase for women is both are like you're trying to get the person.
Yeah.
I think the getting is different. You know, the men are, you want them physically, like you want to claim them. Women want to claim the men, but they want their commitment. They want to know that like they're locking them down.
Right.
It's two like variations of the same thing.
Yeah.
But a lot of it comes with maturity also.
Yeah.
Like having done this podcast with you, like crap that went on 7 years ago would not be going on today.
No, and honestly, like
You know, you look, everything's.
I think I look back and I'm like, God damn, I wish I just like would say to these people, like,
like go
fuck yourself.
But you know what? It's all part of growing up, and it's all you learn from your mistakes. And
You
you
have
can't be
to
hard
go
on
through
yourself.
it.
Yeah,
like
I
you
agree.
have to go through it. I don't think that you get to a point where you realize, okay, this is not working for me. This pattern of like chasing a guy, not getting what I need, being in emotional distress.
Right.
This is not working. I have to change something about myself. I feel like you don't get to that point unless you're fixing something.
But what about people who say have never really had drama in dating or have been with someone they've been with their whole entire life? Like, do you think there is like a pro or a con to not exploring multiple people and dating in multiple ways?
That is my hot take. I think that absolutely those are the people that have a midlife crisis.
Interesting.
Like,
They might not even know they're with
always.
an asshole because they don't know anything
Right.
else.
Yeah, it's true. You have to date a few assholes to know when a person's not one. And also it's like, you know, no relationship is guaranteed forever. That's just life. But I think knowing it's easier, at least the way that I view it, to know, okay, I found this person because I've gone through a few different people and this feels right, this feels different. I would be hard for me to imagine a world where it's just like, and you don't explore anything else.
Right.
And then do you wake up in 50 years and be like, but was it the right choice? Like, could there have been something else? Could there be something better? So much of your 20s is figuring out your identity and becoming the person that you're meant to be. It's hard to do that when you're trying to fit into a relationship because you're compromising parts of yourself. You always have to. And like, I think that's also really important before you're getting into a relationship that you feel you have agency in.
Right.
Yeah.
It's also
a lot of it is timing also. The
Yeah,
time has
timing
to be
is
right.
is-
Timing is
timing is
super
everything.
important. I agree.
Yeah.
I also think it's a huge difference about being single in your early 20s versus being single in college.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
so curious what I would have been like single in college.
I was single all of college.
I was in a relationship all of college.
Oh, I was
And
single.
I wasn't single until like literally the day I moved into the city.
I mean, the Big Ten schools were like, I mean, like this, like just the shit that would go on even between people in relationships. It was it wasn't the time to be, at least in Indiana. Like I feel like I would have been up all night.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
I was in I was in two, I wouldn't even call them serious. I was in two different relationships, different times, obviously.
Yeah.
And imagine I was in two serious relationships at the same time.
They find out now.
That's exhausting. No, but like there was like I had the most amount of drama in my life when I was in those relationships.
Yeah.
And it really resonated with me. You're like, what is it? 19 dating theory.
Yes.
Do you know about this one?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, educate us on the 19 theory.
Okay,
please.
this I really loved. Wait, I was actually wanting to pull up the chart because I was like, I definitely want to talk about it.
Wait, I just wanted to say one thing. You even had a boyfriend in camp.
Who?
Jesse.
I was like 6 years
I know,
old.
but I'm just saying 6, 7, 8, 9,
well,
10,
I made
11,
up for it the past 7 years when I was single before meeting my current boyfriend. So I really made up for it, I think, in prime time. I was single in my prime time.
Yeah.
It was a good time to be single.
Yeah, well, okay,
Agreed.
this is, so anyone, like I was a sociology nerd.
Mm-hmm.
There was Erickson's stages of
I
development.
literally like failed sociology.
Oh my God, I loved it. I was not good at psychology.
It's a lot of reading.
Yeah. And it basically said the 19 dating theory, which I kind of made this my own. It's again, one of these TikTok theories that was like the person that you meet at 19 years old will just stomp on your heart and turn it into mincemeat. And there was no theoretical explanation of it, but I was like, yeah, I do feel like a lot of, I can resonate with that. I know a lot of my friends can. Like, why is it that age that you experience such devastating heartbreak?
Right.
So then I've remembered it was these stages of development where I'm looking at the chart right now, and you have adolescence at 12 to 18 years old. And there's all these stages. There's play age from, 3 to 6. You start in infancy.
Same for men and women?
Same for everyone,
okay.
Every human being. And in each stage, you have to overcome a certain crisis. So like the first stage is infancy. If you don't get nutrition, if you don't get fed and you don't get affection from a parent, you can't psychologically move to the next stage. So
explains how people have like childhood.
Right. So like technically you could
Did you make it through the perverse stage? I don't know.
No, they were fine then. I didn't know better.
Like they're fine then.
Yeah.
You're like, they fed me.
Yeah.
And so, okay, it's this idea though where you could be 30 years old, but psychologically stinted at, 12 or 2, whatever. So the crisis you have to overcome in this stage of adolescence, which again is 12 to 18 years old, is you're trying to develop your own identity. You have to figure out who you are, what you want, and how you're going to get it.
Right.
Then what happens is once you reach that stage, you overcome that, you form a sense of self. You have to figure out how to bring that self into a relationship. So it's not just about who you are, it's who you are with someone else.
Which is like a whole different game.
Which is a whole different thing. And I think that a lot of what happens at 19 is you have, because again, adolescence 18, and then the next stage is early adulthood, which happens from 19 to 29. You have
a big gap.
Yeah, it's your 20s.
Yeah.
And you have this kind of, if one person isn't forming their identity and they're not able to find a sense of security within themselves, the other person isn't getting what they need. And I think it creates this like friction of a lot of toxicity and a lot of like.
Doesn't that make a lot of sense?
Yeah, it does make sense.
Like I'm thinking like my college relationship, like I was in that like figuring out, I knew who I was, but I was figuring out who I was with someone else. He was like 13 steps behind me.
Well, this is men. This is what I feel like men, and they say like men not until 25 that their prefrontal cortex doesn't
it's always
develop.
like their 3 years.
Still growing.
It's like, take their age minus 3 years and that's their maturity. Which like sometimes I believe, sometimes I don't.
No, I feel that tracks.
Yeah.
But
it also depends on the person. But
it depends on the person.
Yeah.
I do think that for men, having to like deep dive into their sense of identity beyond what's expected of them, which is just to be a provider and, settle down one day. I don't think it comes as easily to them. Like
definitely not.
The introspection.
Definitely not.
And again, I think that that's a lot of friction. Like when you have women who are finally coming into maturity, you're 19, you're in college, you're experimenting with what you want from life.
Right.
I don't know that men are as likely to do that. I think they
probably not. But I also think about myself too. Like I don't think I really grew into myself until I was single. in my early 20s. So it's interesting for me to think back and be like, oh yeah, like at 19, like I knew who I was, but I didn't know who I was with someone.
Yeah.
So, but I'm having a hard time like relating
it's
to it
identity.
because
The crisis though is identity versus confusion. Like your 20s is about solidifying that.
Right.
I think the jumping off point is like, okay, I have direction of where I want to go. It's not, I don't know that anyone could be like, this is who I am all the time.
Oh my God, if I was who I was at 19, I would not like myself, I feel like.
Really?
I just think I'm so different. Like I mean, I think it's just mature. Like I was such a pussy in relationships. I would do anything to like avoid an argument or avoid a fight, like anything. Like, I would just like literally, you knew that too. And like my dad and brother know it too. I would like literally just be like, you're right. Like just to avoid an argument. And I think now I would never do that.
Well, I think I think so many women probably relate to that because I do, where I wanted to hold on to the dynamic. It didn't matter if it was serving me. It didn't matter if I was getting what I needed. It mattered that I had it and I had to keep it.
Right.
And I think, when you get into your 20s, you're single, you date for a while, you realize, okay, you don't need to keep something. It's like back to the idea of you want something, you don't need it.
But some people can't be alone.
Yeah.
So they just grasp onto it.
The codependency.
They even go into a marriage. They know it's not right, but it's too late to turn back, whatever.
And they want to start their lives and like have kids and, we're Jewish families and that's a thing. Everyone's 30 is death if you're single.
But that's what we always talk about. And like one of the main reasons, like main conversations we have on the podcast is like not just for like people our age, but also for, your friends and people your age around like, you might not realize the pressure is happening, but like to cool it in a way.
Oh, these are.
I'm good now. I don't even ask you questions anymore.
Well, because I mean, like, but I'm curious
Isn't it nice?
If I was, it's so beautiful. But if I was single, like maybe you would still be like that.
Of course I would.
Yeah,
because I care. And I want for you.
Is your mom like that too?
My mom and I have. When I tell you, we have a very similar relationship to you.
It's a blessing and a curse.
It is a blessing and a curse, and I have like. The fights that we have gotten into where I am like, Mom, if I'm not married by 30, I'm going to move to Bali by myself. I'm going to fucking eat, pray, love it. And you're going to deal with it. It's actually crazy.
I was just stalking this. I remember I FaceTimed you the other day. I was stalking this like random girl on TikTok and she like moved to Bali and is just like living her best life.
Kind of jealous.
And I'm like, that's like actually insane because it's like so foreign to me. But like, it's crazy how like when you think about especially women like entering their 30s and like they're single, like why is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing in your mind?
No, it's not a bad thing, but I would tell you if you were in your early 30s and single, I would just make you freeze your eggs and then I'd shut up.
That makes sense. I would want to freeze
just
my
to
eggs,
have that. Yeah, just to.
She says that, but I think that she would still be breathing down my neck.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
it's a hot topic at Mahjong. Yeah, like it is.
But we just want you girls to be happy. That's all we really care about. Yeah. And life
what
is
if like
so
we
hard.
tell you we're happy?
Well, that's one thing if you are happy. I mean, a relationship doesn't make you happy, but I knew when you were single that you were ready for that emotional connection.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think they want us to find love.
Right.
Like, and so the point of contention though is like, so do we.
Right.
And then it becomes, I think, especially Jewish in our bubble is like so many people I know that on the periphery, friends of friends that have gotten married. And I'm like, they don't love each other. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say it. But I'm like, they don't love each other. These two people do not love each other. I knew them, whatever. It's like, you got together because your parents, you come from good backgrounds. It makes sense. You both want to start. The math is mathing.
Right.
That to me, that's death.
Yeah.
More so than being single at 30.
But it's crazy just like the tone around like when you're single and 30, which it shouldn't be, where it's like, it's not like, it's like, oh, she's single. Like, why?
What's wrong with her?
Yeah, it's like, why? You don't know why she's single. Like, why does there have to be a reason for someone to be single? Maybe she wants to be single. Or he.
Yeah.
Or maybe she just hasn't met the right person.
Yeah. I do feel like who did I say this to? I just said that for men, like 35 is the new 25.
Truly.
So funny.
Oh my
'cause
God. Yeah.
I have a son. He's
Okay.
31. We're not allowed to talk about him.
Mom, you
but
need to stop saying
he's
that.
not
Like
here.
we talk about him every episode.
I don't care if he gets married at 35 or 36. Like there's
Yeah.
Would
no
you care if I
timeline.
got married at 35, 36?
I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
I would prefer you be married earlier,
Yeah,
but
why,
no pressure. I mean, you're in a great, happy relationship, but I
But
don't.
I'm saying
I
if I
don't,
wasn't.
I don't say anything to you and put pressure on you.
No.
about
But I'm saying
anything.
if I wasn't, like,
Uh-huh.
why
Because
for
it's
Jordan
a little bit
was
of a
it?
double standard.
Yeah.
Because he's a guy.
My mom, okay, I don't have a brother. There are no boys in my family, but I have a sister. But I think my mom would say the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's like, I don't know if you feel this way. Like my mom was like, thank God I didn't have a son because she's like, thank God. And I would be obsessed with him and he would be my baby. He would walk all over me. Like I would let him get away with murder.
No, that's me.
That's you?
Yeah, it's being the
Okay.
only girl you get away with murder.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
honestly, I don't know if it's because I'm the only girl, but maybe I'm the younger one too. But honestly,
Yeah, the
both my
younger.
brother and I got away with everything. My parents like didn't give a fuck. I'm talking to them like they aren't here. Like she didn't give a fuck. My dad didn't give a fuck.
No,
like,
but I just wanted you to live your life and grow
Yeah.
up. I knew when you were doing something bad. It was all part of growing up. I was
Right.
very
Like, my
realistic.
parents said, like, yeah, everything
Yeah.
you're doing, like, we know you're gonna do drugs. We know you're gonna have sex one day.
So
like,
do it in the basement and-
yeah. They would say we rather host the pregame
Yeah.
because we want to know it's like controlled. Like
Yeah,
no one's
correct.
gonna get blackout wasted in our home.
Right.
Yeah.
If someone got sick, I would take care of them
Right,
or whatever. And
right.
that's how I grew up.
My dad sat me down when I was like in 8th grade and was like, anything from the ground, cool. Anything not, you come to me.
Yeah.
Right.
They were, my mom was like tried to be a little bit, but I was a very bad kid.
You
I
were?
was a bad
Oh my god,
kid.
I don't see that for you.
Oh no, I was a really like my parents
like drugs party or just
would,
like
drugs
slutty?
party, all of it.
Okay.
Not slut, never slutty.
Okay.
I was prude, if anything.
Oh, nice.
Would be
Okay,
called
cool.
the
Good for
prude.
you.
But like my parents would go and pick up my grandma from JFK and I would throw a party.
Yeah.
And I would take my dad's car out with my permit. He doesn't
you were
know
like
that.
you were like classic like bad girl.
Yeah,
That was probably
like,
you when you
bad.
were younger.
No, if I think about it, I remember I used to go with my mom to like Walbaum's, I don't know, whatever, some supermarket. I'd be like, no, Mom, I'm going to wait in the car. And I think about it, it was a huge parking lot. I would hop into the driver's seat and I was such a loser. I would literally back up, keep going back and forth in the parking lot
Why?
because I
Just
just wanted
because.
to drive.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to lose the spot and drive around. So people must have been like, what is wrong?
You were
with
probably on Quaaludes.
Yeah, I'm going back. Could have been.
But also with you guys too, like I feel like anything I was doing, like you were doing 10 times worse when you were younger.
Right.
Yeah.
But then when
We were pretty
now
bad.
you have
I
to
don't
really
know.
be careful though, because
Yeah.
there's so much like
Yeah,
bad
don't get
stuff
all like
out
mom
there.
on us
Yeah,
right now.
no, I'm
Like, I
just
already,
saying,
like,
like,
I already
Well,
had
now
my
I
drug
don't
phase
even
where
feel
it's a
like-
different world.
Kids, we were genuinely like bad kids. We would go into the city a lot. Like we were
Same,
close.
we did, like this, like the little stupid.
We would go
clubs,
clubbing.
Riff-raff.
Riff-raff. Oh, riff-raff. They used to paint your face. It was so
I
fun.
felt so cool.
Saloon.
Yeah.
Oh, so fun. Good
It's crazy because like
times.
I thought I looked so old in like my like BB like tight band-aid dress, but
The
thinking about
choker.
it now, like now, yeah, the choker.
You
Oh my
were like
God,
a kid.
so bad. Like when I see like young girls now, I'm like, I remember that age and remember thinking I was like so cool and so
Yeah.
hot. Like
Yeah.
obviously we looked 4 years old when we were
Yeah.
in the city.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, good
But you
times.
guys
Yeah.
are also so lucky. You graduated college. You got to
Yeah.
move into the city. You've had a lot of
Yeah.
good.
Well, I'm
Behind you.
exhausted now. Like now I'm
don't
like,
go out.
I started this so young. I'm like,
We were just talking about
you know,
that,
I'm
yeah.
like, I
Well, you
can't go to
age
a
out
club.
after a while.
Yeah.
No, but when I do go to a club, I'm like so grateful for it.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I'm not a club person. I'm a dive bar person.
Oh no,
Like,
I'm
I
like
cannot be in a club.
Cocktail lounge. Give me like a night at 11 in Miami. And
No.
oh my
I
god.
rebuke 11, and all of my friends are like, "Let's go." I'm like, I don't want
Do you want to hear the
I
crazy
have no
part there?
rhythm.
I drink more now, but I was like basically sober for like 2 years, and I would still go to 11 when I was in Miami and stay till 5 a.m. Like I can be there sober. I think
mean-
that is something to brag about. I'm sorry, that is a skill. That is a skill.
That is a skill. I
Yeah.
think if you give me the right mixture of cocktails and things to party
Right.
with, then I could have fun anywhere.
Yeah.
But like my natural state would be at like Double Down Saloon.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
And you got that from me. Because
What?
I could be up till 3, 4, 5 in the
Yeah.
morning and I don't drink or do drugs.
Really?
Well, you did.
Yeah, but not, I mean, just 3 years ago I did it.
Right, true.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
You're right.
Yeah.
She goes on these like crazy fun trips and it's like suddenly a rager.
Yeah.
Suddenly. My dad like lives for it.
Yeah, my dad is a partier. My mom is like more normal. My dad is where I could stay up till 5 a.m.
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
But I think that was so important too, and something we always talk about is like you and dad made it so like cool to have those things happen. Like cool is not the right word, but like if I would like explore drugs, like I wouldn't feel like shame like saying it.
Yeah.
Or I never like told you straight up like, yeah, I'm doing it, but like you
Yeah.
kind of just like knew. And
Wait,
there was
remember
like,
the claw with your drinks?
oh yeah, they're always like, yeah, when you're drinking, like put your hand over the drink so you
Oh,
don't
the
get
claw.
roofied.
And if you put your drink down,
Yeah.
don't
Don't
pick it up
touch-
again.
Yeah.
Like,
It's crazy
little
because
rules.
even to this day, like I still think about that.
Yeah.
And you probably said it to me like once.
Yeah. I feel like talking about mothers and daughters, I have so many non-Jewish friends
Mhm.
who, and again, our dynamic is very similar, but I have so many friends who didn't feel that way growing up. My town, I was one of like 10 Jews in my
Really?
grade.
Yeah.
In
I
your
was,
town?
oh yeah, really Irish Catholic town.
Oh, I thought it
And-
was more Jewish.
too.
Yeah.
No, my sister's grade was a little bit more. Mine really wasn't.
Mhm.
So there was a lot of sneaking and secrecy and stuff that they couldn't tell their parents. And I, snuck around to some extent, but I knew
Yeah.
if shit hit the fan or if something happened, like, okay, they have my back. I can
You
go
can
and
tell
tell
them.
them.
Right.
I had a lot of friends who couldn't.
Yeah, I never
but-
understood that. And did they go to college and become crazy?
Right. Girls Gone
They-
Wild.
Yeah.
They had eating disorders. They had like things, like it was just a lot of like hidden things to try and get control. There wasn't a lot of ability to like what we're talking about, explore
Yeah.
and figure out yourself and like have a little bit of leeway to do it. Like I
Yeah.
think that manifested in college.
Mm.
Yeah.
For
See,
sure.
and I didn't want that.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't get that. You had a perfectly normal partier.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's ever a time where I like
No, but if
Like-
you knew if you're at someone's house and you were sick, you could call me and
Yeah.
I'd pick you up and that would be, it's not
Yeah.
like you'd be punished.
I don't think my daddy ever remembers this, but one time like I'm like the biggest smoker.
Yeah.
And I never really liked it. Like, but like when I came into the city, I probably only like this was like 7 years ago. I probably only smoked like 4 times in my life. Like I
Okay.
rarely smoked. And in high school, like the first time I really got high, I was high off my rocker.
It
Like
was probably at that guy's house.
it was at no. It was at my boyfriend in high school's house at the time.
Okay.
Oh.
And I was freaking out. And I
Yeah.
remember he called my dad and was like, you
Yeah.
need to
Oh,
get
I don't
Danny.
even
She's having a
remember that.
bug out. Yeah.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
literally high. I was high and I was drunk and I never
Uh-huh.
knew what being high felt like. So that was actually the moment where I was like, I don't like smoking weed because I associated getting high with having a panic
Yeah.
attack. And now I got high last weekend. It was fucking amazing. I had the best high ever.
Well, everyone has that. I had that. I was big pothead.
Really?
Huge.
Oh
like
my God.
big pothead in high school.
So were you.
And
Maybe it was laced with something.
maybe
that you
I-
got.
no,
I was just a pussy.
because I got to college. I was a huge stoner in high school. I had an experience out of an apple bong in a dorm room
That'll do it.
that I had never been paranoid.
Yeah.
I could not breathe. It was also like, I think the people I was with it was like the first week of school and not my people.
Yeah,
Right.
you weren't like, in
I
your
did not
space.
smoke after that until I went to Australia and
Yeah.
I could like chill again because I was like, it was such a
scared you.
panic.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
so
straight.
true.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Scared
of my
straight.
friend. Actually, going back to your writing, how does it work like with your editor? Like, do they say to you like, "Oh, I found this theory," or is it really you coming to them with the concepts?
It's both. So
Yeah.
like we have every month a pitch meeting where I
Okay.
give like some odd ideas.
It's literally a movie.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is. But
yeah.
we don't do it. I wish. Like I'm not in office, so it's
Yeah.
all digital. We
Yeah.
don't like sit around and be like, Andy
Yeah.
and Andy Anderson.
Right.
But yeah, I come with ideas and then I get assigned out. Like 19 dating theory, I was assigned,
Mhm.
and rubber band theory, I was assigned. But then bored uncle, I found, and I was
yeah.
like, I want to write about that. So
How
it's a
many
mix.
stories do you write a week?
I write a story a day.
A
Wow.
story a day.
Yeah, I write a story a day.
That's a gift
And
to
My
be such a
brain
great writer.
could never.
It's, you know what? It's like genuinely therapeutic. Like
Yeah.
I love it. It's like world out, writing on. I don't have to think about anything else.
Right.
Like I can't even imagine having a job where I have to like juggle a million things and people all the
Honestly,
time.
That sounds so nice.
It's lovely. Like I
Yeah,
go to
you
a
just know-
hotel
yeah.
and I write. I put my headphones on. Like it's great.
Remember you couldn't do your first sentence?
Okay, I was
always the
also
hardest
writing
thing.
essays about like fucking World War II and like sorry, I didn't give a shit about that. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say that, but like I was like a very bad student, but then when I like actually started learning things I cared about, or
You
not
were
cared
great
about, I
at
was
it.
great at it.
That's it. When I'm interested in
Right.
something, like and I'm quintessential ADD too. Like I could totally get hyperfixated.
Right.
So like when I'm learning and I'm interested, I want to know everything
right,
about
do a
it.
deep
And
dive.
that's what's fun about the writing. Like you get to do the research part of it too.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
in a way, I'm a writer.
You're a
Because
great
I write
writer
a
now.
lot. I write a lot now because I do social media strategy
Yeah.
for brands. So like, I mean, yeah, it's like caption copy, but like I write strategies, I write content plans, and like that, and like LinkedIn posts. You got to be wise with your words. Let me tell you.
No, it's
Sometimes
good.
I'm writing and I'm like my parents would literally actually get offended when you guys are like, I can't believe you write. It's like that's rude. Like I'm literally 28 now, and I was a shitty writer when I was 6.
Yeah,
like,
but
let's-
you used to struggle.
You know what?
yeah.
Everyone says this to me. Like, not everyone, but a lot of people say this to me when I meet them, and they're like, I could never be a writer. And I was like, all you really have to do, the amount of writing that I do, I'll sometimes pace around my room and just talk to myself for an hour and transcribe it.
I could
and
be a
then
dating writer.
clean it up.
Right.
I'm like, talk to yourself and then put it into, like, that's all it is.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
if you have something interesting to say, that's what writing is.
Right.
It's just putting it down.
And now I learned about AI, so I'm good.
You just learned about AI.
Oh, yeah, I'm a little slow.
Wait, when did you learn about it? Yesterday? This has been around for like 3 years.
No, I know, but maybe, I don't know, 6 months ago. Because I have a friend, Eloise, so anytime I had to write something, she always helped me and cleaned it up.
Yeah.
And when
I don't
she
bother her
does write
anymore.
something, it's like birthday cards.
No, I do speeches for some
You
people.
do
and stuff.
speeches.
Yeah.
But like, should you really use Chat GPT for a personal loving speech?
Well, just to make sure the English is correct
Refine
and stuff.
it.
Yeah.
Refine it.
Yeah.
I mean, I fucking love Chat GPT. That is my best friend.
I like, it's too hard for me to like use it.
Well,
You know,
when
it
your
probably
voice.
changes your whole
Yeah.
tone of voice. Yeah.
It's like I've played around with like a certain things, but like
Yeah.
it's just like you're not getting. I'm like, you're not in my brain.
Sometimes
Obviously,
it's funny. I say like, if I say like, make this caption like a little bit more sophisticated. I
Yeah.
say, or like then I actually start to talk how I usually do. I'm like, make it spicier, like make it
Yeah.
sexier. Like,
You
no,
know-
I literally go, no, that's boring. I never ended up like I end up using like what they say because it's so not my voice, or not even my voice, the brand's voice, which like obviously it's why you can't use ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But I use it a lot for like, give me a better word for this, or like another way to say this, and like it
Yeah.
just gives me things my brain would never think of.
You know where it's actually been helpful? Like I wrote a play. I'm like, I wrote it a few years
You
ago.
wrote a play.
I wrote a play,
I
and then
didn't
I
grasp what she said for a second. I was like, that's sick.
and then I was like, this, I hate it. Like I wrote it, I like birthed it, and then I was like, fuck it, I hate it. And I put it in a drawer and I didn't look at it. And now I'm like, okay, it might be time to revisit it.
Revisit it.
Where the AI has been helpful is like the structure. Like I could imagine it being helpful for like strategy things. Like
Totally.
it's so easy for me to write a scene kind of like I do with my writing when I
Right.
start a paragraph and I set up a scene and what people would say. Like it's all in my head. But
Yeah.
like actually making it a story as opposed to just like people talking about nothing is not as easy for me.
Yeah.
That's been helpul with like the playwriting thing. Yeah.
I can't imagine ChatGPT in school right now. Like,
No, could you
I
imagine college essays?
Oh my God. Well, they have like a ChatGPT scanner. Like my cousin's in college.
Yeah.
And they have to submit it and they can like detect certain like, I guess, syntax and
Yeah,
way that
phrases
things
or
are
whatever.
phrased.
That makes sense.
It would be
I
like,
feel
yeah.
like I feel like we had something
Mhm.
like that in college and high school around plagiarism, around
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
articles.
Oh, I
or,
got in trouble for that.
Yeah,
I got in
yeah.
trouble for that.
Yeah.
That scarred me. I got
That's
sent.
an honor. It's a
Back
classic.
in my
yeah.
day, I would copy an entire paragraph from something. I was
Yeah.
like, all right, this works.
Yeah.
But that's a gift that you're such a good writer and that you could think of these things. What's
It's
your little
fun.
play about?
It's about dysfunctional Jewish family.
Oh,
Yes.
I could add it.
Yes.
Wait, this is so relevant.
could
How
give
can
you
we
some
dive
scenes.
in?
Yeah, everyone could. That's
We can
it's
give you
like,
some major inspo.
it's
I
still
love
being
that.
written, but yeah, it's like tied into that whole world, and they're all commodities brokers.
You
and
have to
like,
tap Murray Hellboy. Do you know him?
I went to camp with him.
Oh,
funny.
yeah.
Of course I
we
know
We had
him.
him on. He's the fucking
Yeah,
best.
He's the best. I
He's
just
the
also
best.
really like him as a person.
Yeah, good
he
heart,
is.
good heart.
He's so wise.
So wise and
He's
just
so
like gets
cute.
it.
Mhm.
Gets what she
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm so upset because I usually write down, finish the sentence question.
Oh, you didn't do that
and
today?
I totally blanked out when I was like prepping for this. So I'm going to think of them on the whim
Okay.
in the moment. We always end with time flew. We always end
Yeah.
with like some finish the sentence questions. So I'm going to think of some right now.
Okay.
Give me a moment. Okay. My favorite dating theory is
Sunicorn.
what the motherfuck is
That was
that?
a story I wrote.
Okay, let's hear it.
Oh, I talked about this on the last podcast I was on. It's basically the idea that if the timing isn't right and you're with someone who isn't committing or giving you what you want, you let them go instead of squeezing them too
Mhm.
tight and holding on to it. And if it's meant to be, it'll be. And the Sunicorn element is from like venture capitalism. And it's this idea where, you know, unicorn is $1 billion and Sunicorn is a company that's going to reach $1 billion. So that whole idea where it's like the potential of a relationship, let it be.
Right.
Don't force it if it's not right with timing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
What about a dating theory I don't believe in?
Oh, that's a good one. A dating theory I don't believe
Or not even like a theory,
in.
more just like a concept.
Okay, this is a hot take. Ghosting. Ghosting.
You like it. You allow it.
I think ghosting, thank you. Fucking thank
Or
you.
you think they did you a favor?
Like you know what I don't need your, and I'm talking after like 1 date, 2 dates, 3 dates.
One date, fine.
Yeah, 3 dates, you know, 2
No.
dates. 2 dates, fine. I almost would give it a pass. I think by 3 dates, you owe them a text. But again, it's like my whole thing with ghosting, even if it is 4 months in and you disappear, you suck.
Yeah.
You're doing me a favor. And that way, it's like I don't have to hold on to this idea that you were
Yeah.
a great person and whatever. Like, you're an asshole. Thank you for showing me that.
Yeah.
right.
And
Helps you heal and move on.
Yeah.
Honestly, like just talking to so many people through this podcast, like my whole like
We've learned a
demeanor-
lot.
Oh my god. Like,
Yeah.
I was such a pussy.
We all
I
were. We
was.
all were. There were
I
so
never
many
had the
times-
dynamic though. I think towards the end I did of like my single stage. I think I
Yeah.
started to have that. But like there was a time if like I enjoyed a date, but he wasn't getting back to me, like I was texting them.
Oh, I never text first after a date. I will say that. Absolutely
I stopped
not.
doing that.
Yeah.
I stopped doing that. You
Well-
would say, thank him again. And
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Yeah. I always thought you should thank again in the morning. Just say thanks so much. I had a great time, and that was that.
No, you know what I've realized? I'm like, if you're not getting that text from them, like, screw it.
Yeah.
I'm almost like, I want that. I want it too.
Yeah.
Like, I want them to text me and be like, get home safe.
Right.
That's
I
cute.
also thought it like ruined their like thought process if they actually even wanted to text me again.
Yeah. Like, I
But I didn't always
let
think
them.
that.
I think that girls, like, and that's to the point of like, allow yourself to be chased a
Mhm.
little bit, like, before you kind of give it to them. Like, they like it too.
Yeah, that's true.
They
Because
like
you think
it.
about after 1 date, 2 dates, really, you don't even know this person.
No,
and you're-
one date
but
is
you
fine.
like everything on, you like them
On
on
paper,
paper, but
right.
they
Mhm.
probably
They
aren't
check
that
the
great.
boxes.
Right.
Yeah.
I think after a first date, like if none of you reach out, like that's a beautiful situation. But I think after a second date, you've spent like a few hours together. Like
Right.
I think you deserve the like
Well, for the record, I myself would never after a second date.
but you're
No.
fine if someone does it to you.
Like, if I wasn't feeling it after a second
Right.
date, I'm very transparent and I
Right.
would be like, thank you. I think you're great.
But
you know,
no, I literally used to have
Let's
a notes
go.
document for
Yeah.
all of my friends and it was just like not like break like it was like how to end
I think you're
with a
great, but
guy.
whatever.
Yeah, it was like ending it with someone,
Yeah.
but it was like based on like how many dates, like and I would never delete them because I wanted to save them. I don't know if I have it anymore.
that's funny
'cause
for
I got a
each
new- I got a new
stage of where
phone.
you end it.
Basically, but it wasn't like all for me. It was like my camp friend would text me and be
Mm.
like, I ended it where I want to end it with him. And I'd be like, okay, like how many dates was it? Like, did you would you want to stay in touch
I
with
think you're
him?
typing with like your glasses, looking
Literally,
at your
I'm
Rolodex.
like, I wish I still had it, but like when I got a new phone, the iCloud got all fucked up and I lost a lot of my notes. But it was so fun. It was like paragraphs. I would just like tailor it to be like, like, I hope we can stay friends. Oh, you don't care about them? We nixed that.
Well,
like,
I think this is good advice also for anyone. Like, all you have to say is, I think you're great. I think, appreciate you taking me out. Thanks for spending time. I feel like this is not aligned with me right now, and I wish you well.
I would say
that's it.
Right, like, you're great. This is what I used to say. I think you're great. I had fun getting to know you, like, depending on how many dates.
Had fun getting to know
I just don't see this going anywhere romantically. Is that mean?
Yeah, I think
I've said what have I said? I've been like, I'm not sure that I feel the connection.
Yeah.
And wish you well.
How's the response though? Because
I think you had some funny responses.
I've gotten responses before. Like, sometimes it's like totally understand, but other times I got one that was like, okay, Danny, like, do you? Or someone was like, LOL, was gonna say the same. Like, I've gotten like very like snarky ones, but most of the time you get like bummed to hear, like, wish you well. But sometimes I've gotten like, bitch, please.
I've gotten no responses. I've gotten a few strange ones. And I would say the bulk of them have just been like, appreciate you letting me know. Like, thanks.
I had one where I ended it with him. It was like only 2 dates. And then he was like, yeah, I figured like you've been very like wishy-washy responding. Wish you the best. I didn't answer because I'm like, this is done here.
Yeah.
And Jasmine. And I knew you were like, your mind is spinning. I know you. I had to like calm her down. And months later, like 5 months later, this was actually, we went out maybe like a year and a half ago now, maybe like last January. I met my boyfriend in May, in like April or something. So like 4 months or like later or something, he messaged being like, hey, like, figured I'd try again, like, as we enter summertime, like, any summer plans? I'm like, I literally blatantly said, I don't see you as a romantic partner.
Why are you
giving credit?
I didn't, that's where I ghosted. I didn't answer.
Well, I've had people where I've said it and then like a little time has passed and then they'll reach out to me for a booty call. I'm like,
oh, ew.
I'm like, okay, you don't booty call me.
Right.
My friend has...
You would have kept him around if you wanted the booty call.
Right. My friend has had, or maybe it was a friend of a friend, and I'm mixing who it is, but ended it with a guy, and he was like, do you mind? At first he was like really bummed, and he circled back like an hour later and was like, I'm actually curious, like, can you give me some feedback, like, as to why?
Oh,
like,
I actually appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate that, but I also think you're asking to get hurt. Like, I think you're literally like, sometimes
well, it's like going on an interview, and after the interview, you want to know why you didn't get the job.
Right, but
like,
sometimes it has nothing to do with the person. They could be great, but you just don't feel it.
Right.
So, like, I think that's what she responded.
I think for men, that is good to ask, though, because for women, I think
rare.
we beat ourselves up, right?
Yeah.
If we really like someone and it doesn't go well, then we're like, okay, what did we do?
Right.
And I think that's where our brains go inherently. I think men are like, she's missing a great catch. Like, I think that they're like,
even if
her.
they're not.
Even if they're not.
Right.
They could use a little bit of humbling sometimes to know, for themselves how they're showing up, I think, that they don't realize as much.
I guess it was like, the scenario, it was only like 1 or 2 dates, but like, I think a lot of the time when someone's ending it, it's like, unless something like actually crazy happens and weird, like, people are ending it because of themselves. Literally, it's not you, it's me.
I think it's like that asking for people. Not even for first and second dates.
Yeah.
That I agree. Where it's like, you can't put
the
connection isn't there. That's fine. But I feel like breakups.
Yeah.
Like breakups, men in breakups are not prone to asking the why as much of the how.
Right.
Like, they're fixated on like the how of where it went wrong and like not as much as like why was I showing up that way?
I feel like women are totally opposite.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. Yeah.
Or why
Men should just ask their mothers because they know everything that's going on.
Yeah. Well,
we know. We see. We hear.
Where can people find you on social media or your writing? Share all the good stuff.
Muckrack. My Muckrack is Sydney Meister, PureWow. I'm private on Instagram. I'm the worst.
Secretive,
but
no, you're not the worst at all.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. like, subscribe, 5 stars, all those good things. It's super easy to give us 5 stars. Just like do it. And we'll see you next week. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye.